The following is an independently produced community access program. The viewpoints expressed are those of the community access producer and do not reflect those of Shaw Cable Systems. The program is presented in response to CRTC policy guidelines regulating community programming.
Hey Calgary, I'm Kevin Jorney. It's April 3rd, and you guessed it, this is Calgary Now.
Lending, borrowing, renting, bartering, exchanging, all the terms associated with the sharing economy. These terms are not new by any means. They have been used informally for centuries as a way to supplement one's income and to save money. Yet, in just another way the internet has changed things, apps and websites have capitalized on an economy that some say is growing in response to the decline of the middle class. Sites like Airbnb and apps like Uber and Lyft have circumvented the high costs and regulation of the hotel and taxi industries to allow consumers to use what others have to share. Critics argue that this is unsafe for those providers, as they are taking risks without the protection that the formal hotel and taxi industry has through taxation and bylaws. Others see a select few benefiting off the backs of those who use such services to save or supplement. Then there are other movements like Free Cycle that aim to reduce what goes into the landfill by gifting unwanted items to others. It's an international grassroots movement that aims for sustainability over profit. Is the rise of the sharing and gifting economies an answer to the decline of the middle class?
So if you're unclear as to what the sharing economy is, like I was, thankfully we have access to the great information sharing tool Wikipedia, which defines the sharing economy as a socio-economic system built around the sharing of human and physical assets. So essentially, a whole lot of give and take without a bunch of money involved and without individual ownership per se. Making what is yours available for others to utilize may seem like a 180-degree swerve from the consumerism dogma that we all know. But when lending an idle item you possess or a space that you have vacant results in obtaining something you require, things quickly start to make sense. I'm sitting down with two lovely ladies here in just a moment to discuss. Give us your 2 cents on Twitter at Calgary Now Show. To start us off, here's the Rant Pack.
I think the sharing economy is a really exciting idea that's going to be propelled by the youth. Especially, we have access to vast networks of connections to people that can readily share their homes, their cars, tools within their home. And this is going to create options for people who are taxed to the limit right now of where they're spending their money. We want to spend our money wiser, and we want to do it in a way that's resourceful and maybe better for our communities and the environment.
Hey Calgary, thanks for joining us tonight. We have Tracy Braun, Operations Manager from Calgary Car Share on the show once again, as well as Patsy Price, a moderator for Free Cycle Calgary. Ladies, thanks for taking the time to join us tonight. Tracy, if you would, tell us about your role at Calgary Car Share.
So Calgary Car Share is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year. We have cars around the downtown area of Calgary that people can rent by the hour and pay for what they use. We actually started as 3 individuals who wanted to share one vehicle and have grown from there to have 6 vehicles on the road and about 150 drivers.
Which is super cool.
Thank you.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks.
On the growth. That's something
Thanks.
else. If you would, Patsy, tell me a little bit about your role with freecycle.org.
I don't think you want to know too much about my role. I'm a moderator here in Calgary.
Yeah.
Free Cycle is a large organization. It has about 9 million members and about 9,000 members in Calgary. So it's a pretty good size group.
Yeah,
groups all over the world. And it works sort of like Kijiji or Craigslist. People can go online and say what they would like to offer, or they can request something, and then people respond to it.
Okay. So essentially, it's like it's a forum then, is what it is.
A forum?
Where people they jump onto your website.
Yeah.
So the Calgary is the local chapter, I suppose, and they will list what they have to offer, and then at the same time, people are just randomly throwing out things that they can use. Is that about right?
Is that what?
Is that about right?
Yeah.
So, is there the big rule though? The big number one rule. This is what makes it super cool is that there is no money exchange.
Everything has to be absolutely free, and also there's no borrowing and no trading. You give it and you have no ties to it after it's gone.
Super cool. So the emphasis is on just that, gifting items. Mm-hmm. Now, what about services as well?
Services are not included.
No, okay.
This is about keeping things out of the landfill. That's probably the overall purpose of Free Cycle.
Well, that's kind of my next question. I mean, is that the main motivation? Of course, I mean, it's part of the mantra was to keep things out of the landfill. But what about the humanitarian side of things? I mean, I think a lot of people do gain certain satisfaction from being able to help other people out. Do you think that's fair to say with members?
Absolutely, but that's not the main purpose.
Okay. So are people then building relationships, do you think, as they give and receive from others?
I'm very much aware of a sense of community among the members, and we get to know each other. We find that there are certain people we like to deal with more than others, certain people that we really enjoy watching to see what they're posting. Mm-hmm. And we do also have a chat group over on Yahoo, but it's very small right now. We'll probably be changing that to Facebook later so that more people will participate.
It's all about word of mouth, and I think it's one of those organizations that just makes a ton of sense. Why would you not want, if you can, to help somebody out, but also to help the environment a little bit? But the question begs, though, do you not run into people that are constantly interested in simply taking or receiving and not really interested on the gifting side of the fence?
Yes, and in some cases that's just where they are in their life, and we'll support that.
Yeah.
And there's a very good reason that many people appreciate the wanted ads, and that's because they may have something they've never thought about giving away, just sitting there in their basement.
That's right.
And when somebody asks for it, they say, "Oh, I've got that. I can contribute that."
It is a lot about community, isn't it? Calgary Car Share, Tracy, is a non-profit. It's a member cooperative, right? So as such, I mean, basically, what is the big difference between Calgary Car Share and some of the for-profit subscription-based car share, entities?
Okay, so from the nonprofit end, it means that any money that is earned, it goes right back into supporting the car share. So we're incredibly accountable and transparent to our members. So, for example, our members can see our financial statements, they can see where we're spending our money, and have input into that. From a trust perspective, that's huge too for us in terms of getting our members to know each other, and because we all live in the same communities, some of them already do know each other. We see referrals from one member to another. Mm-hmm. We see on our trip logs, people will write messages to each other. So we see that community building there. And that's one of our focus over the next year, is to really build some more of that. Because for us, that trust piece is about good business sense, right? We're trusting, our members are trusting each other to leave the car in a good condition, to leave it where they said they were going to leave it, that sort of thing. Yes. And we do have some policies in place that help with that trust. For example, when you do join us, you do have to provide a driver's abstract. Yep. So we put some mechanisms in place to make sure that we're doing our due diligence. But overall, it's about our members doing great things for each other and being supportive of each other.
My gut tells me that Calgary Car Share cars are probably kept in better condition for a longer period of time.
I would agree.
Than other car share companies.
We have members who love to do things like wash the car, just stop in and wash a car for us so that it's clean for the next member. Again, with the trip logs, I see people leaving little notes about how great the CD that someone left in last time was good. So that's sort of, again, so they're building their own community within themselves. It's not just us moderating it. And in terms of the safety, we have high standards, and we know that individuals sometimes can't afford to take the car in for maintenance every 6 months. We do that sort of thing. So we straddle between the completely free gift economy and the completely own everything. We straddle that divide quite well.
Which is, I think that's fabulous. It's community over customers.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Community is the key for us. We connect with other nonprofits as well in the area. We're working with the Open Streets Initiative this year out of the Arusha Center. So we'll be doing a number of events, festivals over the summer, and doing it in community with other nonprofits rather than us just doing them on our own.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about Open Streets.
So Open Streets is great. They've been doing it for a couple of years. It was the Bow River Flow, and it sort of migrated into Open Streets, and it's about celebrating the streets, celebrating being out in Calgary. So they're appearing at different festivals like Sun and Salsa in July, and they'll have different booths and options for things that people can do. One of the things that I've seen them do is having bicycles that you can ride the bicycle and power the amps for the street musicians that are going on, for example.
Wow.
So it's about being out and being active in your community. And they're exactly the people we wanted to partner with to work together to promote the idea that Calgary can be a great community for everyone.